1, 2.
Welcome to the Mental Reps podcast, featuring your host, Brian Wright. Our guest this episode is comedian, writer, actor, and producer, Metzger.
I started doing all this stuff with Kyle Dunnigan. First thing we made was this Bill Maher gangbang.
This week's episode is sponsored by the Field Irish Pub Eatery, a little piece of island in South Florida.
This is what makes me laugh because Kyle's he goes dirtier faster than I do with shit, which I support. I'm not against it. So it's like, so Bill Maher, I guess, was on Rogan and said he didn't know who Kyle was.
Oh, I saw that. I call bullshit, by the way.
Well, here's how big a bullshit. And also, he was like, if you play that impression, I'm leaving the show to Rogan.
Yeah, what the fuck is that about?
So Kyle, this is what makes me laugh, because Kyle's not like an aggressive guy at all, and he's not like confrontational, but like that made him mad. So so he wants to make an impression of Bill Maher getting gangbanged.
Now fade out that fresh ass beat, and let's get this bitch on the road.
Welcome to Mental Reps Podcast. I'm Brian Wright. Hello. I hope you are happy and healthy. I've missed you. I've missed you all. Thank you so much for listening. Right off the bat, I want to thank everybody for reaching out. I got in a pretty brutal car accident. Like, I guess it's a little over 2 months ago now. This happened like the weekend I was supposed to move into the new place as well. This is the first episode I'm doing out of the brand new Mental Reps studios, by the way. Another thing that's taken time to get ready. I also had some other family members in and out of the hospital. I've been in and out of the hospital. My girlfriend, Indy, has been dealing with whiplash. It's just been like a brutal couple months. It's a perfect storm, really. So I'm really sorry I haven't released an episode in a while. But I didn't want to half-ass it. I needed to heal up. I had several broken ribs, bruised sternum, bruised spine, and contusions in between the ribs, the rips in the muscles and all that stuff. It's just been hellish. Anybody who's had rib injuries before, it's just the fucking worst, because there is zero they can do for you. There's nothing. You can't sleep because you can't get comfortable. You can't laugh, can't cough, sneeze, take a shit. Everything is miserable, and just literally barely moving your body at all. Like, you move a limb, you use your core for everything. So therefore, just been in a lot of pain. And my poor girlfriend, Indy, got bad whiplash, like I said, which is actually causing her more harm now as time goes by. I'm still healing up, but her headaches and everything have gotten worse. It just sucks, man. We've been taking care of each other, though, trying to get through it together. She's been a fucking rock, like helping me with everything, and she's had to deal with shit herself, working, cooking, cleaning, taking care of me when she's feeling like shit herself. It's just, this girl deserves a medal. So shout out to her. She's just been the best. Love you. We have a dope new place together. She just got a new promotion at work. Super proud of her. Gotta throw that out there as well. So yeah, I never do this. I never talk too much about myself. I had to gush a little bit. So despite all the hellish last couple of months, we're in a great spot, kicking ass and doing our thing. Thank you everybody for listening so much, sharing with your friends. Please go check out the new and improved mentalreps.net. We're giving away 50% of the proceeds from the merch sales to Neighbors for Neighbors, an awesome local nonprofit doing like really amazing things here locally in South Florida. So when you go to mentalreps.net and purchase something, it's contributing to a great cause. So go look them up. Also, go check out and contribute if you can to the new Patreon page for Mental Reps Podcast. It's up. I'm giving out exclusive content, personalized shout outs on the podcast for the lower tier members, all the way up to yearly one-on-one interviews to be released on all my platforms for the God tier members. I have tiers starting as low as $3 though. And I'm going to have my monthly streamcasts with my mid-tier members. It's going to be a lot of fun. So huge shout out to Frank Rogers, the very first Patreon, and of course, Lily Skipper. Love and appreciate you guys. You know I love you guys. These are good people. So really appreciate them. My guest today is a hilarious comedian, writer, actor, producer, Metzger. He's won an Emmy for writing on Inside Amy Schumer for a really funny sketch, by the way, about her makeup. He's got some chops, man. Also written on Chappelle's Show. I mean, come on. For Sacha Baron Cohen on Who is America. He acted and produced Horace and Pete with Louis C.K., which is like a really underrated show. I think it's pretty intense, but it's a great show. He's performed not only at all the biggest and best venues across the country, but he's friends with all, the most brilliant comedic minds on the planet. They like him, which tells you you can hang with the best of them. He's got this, oh my God. He's got this new thing called Pussies with Kyle Dunnigan. It's like it's the best thing on the internet right now. highly suggest that you go check it out if you haven't already. He's also got a great podcast called Can't Get It Right. We get into a lot of different stuff. We talked a little bit about cancel culture, which he's got some experience with. He was raised Jehovah's Witness, as was I. So we got into that quite a bit. We talked a lot about like just how culture has changed over just how much it's changed over just the last couple of decades, how media companies choose who they want to champion and get behind and why. It was an interesting conversation. I really enjoyed it. This is one of those where I had like a ton prepared, but we literally got to like 15% of it. We just shot the shit, which is my favorite thing to do. I really like talking to him too. He's just very much like a no nonsense kind of guy. Super funny. I really hope you enjoy my chat with the man himself, Mr. Kurt Metzger. But first, don't you know, Brian, we've got a live podcast coming up at the Field Irish Pub and Eatery this Monday, July 19th at 7:30 p.m. with Carl Remy and Pam Bruno. I'm looking forward to this. Carl has a new movie coming out called I Possessed. He's been working really hard on that as well, so we're going to talk a little bit about that. Pam just released a book called Why Wait, Laugh Now. If you want, you can go get it right now at Amazon.com. If you aren't familiar with either of these people, I implore you to check them out and come out if you can. You will love these two. Great human beings doing big things. We're going to have a chugging contest. There's a mic in the crowd, so anyone can come up at any point, ask a question. You will want to ask questions too when you start hearing about their backgrounds. Trust me. Please come out for that. Otherwise, I will be releasing it as a podcast later in the week. No live stream, though, this time. If you can come out to the Field while you're there, enjoy their multiple bars, Guinness, Smithwick's, and much more. The best Irish-American cuisine in South Florida, in my humble opinion. It's what puts them over the top. They have all the classics like shepherd's pie, bangers and mash, the corned beef, the cabbage, Irish potato soup, but also steaks, chops, fresh seafood, and vegan options as well. So no excuses for your emaciated fedora-wearing friends. Another clincher, live music, Wednesday through Sunday. Lots of Irish music. I've taken over their Tuesday nights. They also have just about the best staff of all time. Like the best people you could ask for. They will take care of you. That's a guarantee for me. If you're staying in, don't sweat it. Go to thefieldfl.com and enter code word reps20 for 20% off your entire online order. Again, thefieldfl.com, code word reps20. I have a bunch of events going on at the Field, including the live podcast coming up this Monday, July 19th, as well as a live comedy night on Tuesday, July 20th, Shamrock Comedy Club. This is my new baby, and it's going great. In my humble opinion, one of the best comedy shows here in South Florida. I get really good headliners to come out, and not just that, the features, the guests, the hosts, they're all top draw, okay? Like, I'm not putting bad comedians up there. I'm working really hard to procure the best comedians for everybody coming out, and we have just got nothing but amazing responses from everybody, not just the people who are coming out, but the comedians. They love the Field. It's got low ceilings, there's no windows, and everybody who's coming out is really up for it. Everybody's up for a laugh and just great vibes, great room. So really highly suggest you come out for that. Again, headliner Cisco Duran, Carl Remy will be there, and along with his buddy Warren Scott and my buddy, the amazing Polly McPaulson. She's going to be hosting. So it's going to be awesome. I have Dirty Bingo coming up at Township, which is downtown Fort Lauderdale, with official sponsor Hustler Hollywood. That's Wednesday, the 21st, July 21st. So keep an eye on the social media pages if you want more info at BMW On Air. My Brian Wright On Air Facebook page in particular. You'll find all the upcoming events and shows on my events page. Go check it out. We got some fun stuff coming out. Come out, say hi, meet the neighbors. All right, we paid a few bills. It's time to get to the goods. We had some great conversation. This wasn't really an interview. Again, there was much more of a hang. Roll one up, pack one up, pour yourself a glass, whatever it is. Enjoy my chat with the one and only Kurt Metzger. Very nice.
Dude, I love that. Just roll a joint. Okay.
All right. Oh, dude, I got to keep that in there, bro. I have to keep that in there. Yeah, man. This is it, dude. This is it. I got Kurt Metzger on the line. It's Mental Reps Podcast. What's up, dude? I'm glad to finally have you on.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Of course, dude. Of course, man. How you been over these last 18 months? Because I know
it's been a little different for everybody. People are either excelling or kind of like, falling into the couch and getting into a dark place. How are you doing?
Uh, well, I mean, it fucked up my money. I was because I couldn't go on the road anymore, and but I mean that's fine. I started doing all this stuff with Kyle Dunnigan, so
Dude,
it kind of kept me occupied, you know.
your guy's shit is fucking like helping keep me alive, dude. That put like, what is it, men celebrating women?
Oh, pussies, yeah,
pussies, dude.
That's
It's
his. He did that before
brilliant.
I got there. Yeah.
No, it's brilliant, dude. But you really add something to it. You really like it.
Well,
It works.
I used to work with him a while back, and
Yeah.
and then a girlfriend at the time, because I didn't really go on Instagram until recently, which I wish I had been building that up for a while, because I guess it's good to have that.
Yeah.
But he has a pretty big Instagram following because he does like funny videos. So she showed it to me. I was like, oh, let's make it. I called him up. I'm like, let's make a thing. And he was he had like a deal with Comedy Central or something. So I was like, can you just like back out of it? Because like, what are they gonna? They're not gonna make it better.
Especially Comedy Central. I'm sorry.
Yeah, at this point, it's not like I don't even.
You
know
can't
if
find their
that's-
shit anywhere online. It's like they got
They-
no YouTube.
How did they
page.
manage to not? That blows my mind. Is how they managed to be at the bottom of the internet thing when that. Because I kind of watched them not do it, not become
Yeah. Yeah.
like, and I was like, why are they not like what their website? It was like you couldn't just find their stuff. You had to go on this like website that was anyway. I was like, what are they going to bring to it? Because I'm sure they didn't pay him enough. I'm sure they didn't, it wasn't like a lot of support. And they're like, he should have had like 7 shows before already.
Mhm.
He's like me, where like we were doing like girls' homework for like, of writing. And so he finally was like called me up and we started making. The first thing we made was this Bill Maher gangbang. Which,
Okay. Yeah. He did. Yeah.
Okay, so this is what makes me laugh is because Kyle's he's like he goes dirtier faster than I do with shit, which I support. I'm not against it.
Yeah.
And so his idea is like, yeah, I'm trying to. So Bill Maher, I guess, was on Rogan and said he didn't know who Kyle was.
Oh, I saw that.
And Rogan was
Bullshit.
like,
I call
it's a
bullshit,
great-
by the way.
Well, here's how big of bullshit. And also he was like, if you play that impression, I'm leaving the show to Rogan.
Yeah. What the fuck
So-
is that about?
So Kyle, this is what makes me laugh because Kyle's not like an aggressive guy at all, and he's not like confrontational, but like that made him mad. Like so he's
that.
like so he wants to make an impression of Bill Maher getting gangbangs. So
Oh,
so the thing that I came up with was like making it like he didn't want to do this, but like a sick kid wrote this sketch, and his name's Caleb, and it's an organization called Wishes Sketch. And so that's why he has to do this. Like it's not, and then Kyle's a funny actor, so it would like cut back where he looks like really upset. Like he goes, "I'm so sorry." Like, yeah, it's really funny. He really can act, and so we started making stuff like the pussies thing. That was something I saw on his Instagram. He was with this other dude doing it. I guess the other guy is like in real life is like that.
Oh, so I kind of lost the humor.
That's like
on
the
him a little
general-
bit. Like,
Yeah, like he was like saying, I've seen the guy on commercials. The guy was better than me at it. I think the guy was great in the old ones, like the way he acted.
I
Like the
remember.
ones I do with him, they're on his Instagram, but the ones I do with Kyle are a lot more elaborate.
Yeah.
They're like longer and like they're about stuff. But just I mean, in terms of acting skill, I'm not as good at acting as like just like somebody he knows from that scene. So
I thought you did great, man. I think you're doing great, dude. I mean, it's so.
well, it's funny the guy
refreshing.
left it, but he thought it would like help the right. That was like his thing is like this is
Oh,
before they had a phone call or whatever, he would say like, I don't know, this is helping the right. And Kyle's not a political dude like at all. Like he was
come
just
on.
like, because that's what I liked about it. It wasn't really like, I try to make it like they're not like social justice warriors. They're just like pussies, So they don't really know all this stuff. They just
Yeah.
make it up or they hear it from their
Yeah.
girlfriends. Or
Yes.
and try to keep it to women and not like get into all the other like array of things of like that pussy shit like
Yeah.
so it's like there's like that's kind of like the game of it is to make it like how's it concerned, because the tricky thing with that is like if you talk about something like trans, let's say, how do you do that? Like that's like a thing you have to like really figure out.
Yeah.
And then the thing we hit on is to like not acknowledge it at all. Like so we did a thing with this racer and it was like, look how good women are getting. Women are getting so much better at sports. You see, women can do it, and then not even acknowledge.
Dude, that's brilliant, man. Because you're really like you said, you don't have to like be mean spirited or anything like that, but you're kind of taking the piss out of them a little bit. I understand the guy. I mean, that makes me sad that people think that way. Oh, don't do that. Like you're gonna help the right. How about go fuck yourself? Who cares about the right or left?
Like,
What?
well, like somebody saying that. I don't believe them. Like I'm like, this is something in a click that you heard. Like now, I'm sure somebody says that and believes it, but I don't think I've ever met that person. But it's such a piss poor way to conduct your. You know, I'm friends with Jimmy Dore, whose show I like a lot.
I
He's
love Jimmy.
leftist. He's not. He doesn't do culture war bullshit, which is what I like about him. And that's the flack he gets. Like it's like leftover from the war on terror. Like you're either with us or you're with the terrorists. Like that. It's that attitude. It's like wartime attitude, right? So,
Yes.
so you're supposed to help with the war effort in every little way. And when Trump got in, a bunch of these people are like, "We're at war." I remember my manager at the time had like a hashtag the resistance. I think he helped create the hashtag resistance. Remember that?
Jesus,
the resistance.
I remember that.
And I remember being like, "What? Like, I don't even understand what are you resisting? An election?"
Yeah.
That
Dude,
nobody disputed. Like it was crazy.
it's exhausting.
People disputed the electoral college, which you could dispute, but nobody was like, this was a fake election or, you know,
Yeah.
unlike this last. So everybody got this in their heads and, you know, especially show business people are like really dumb. Like so many of them are so dumb.
Dude, I used to do news, and I swear the big turn, in my humble opinion, without
News where? Just so I know.
South Florida, WIOD, this news station down here. And I started as a reporter and went to an anchor. And I saw that when Caitlyn Jenner came out as a woman, and everybody was saying, you either have to believe that this is a beautiful human being, a beautiful woman on the cover of Variety. And that is when I saw a lot of even like my liberal friends be like, dude, what the fuck is going on? And if you weren't on that train, then you're an asshole. I mean, and that's kind of, what'd you say?
How old were the friends?
Were my friend? Oh no, I'm talking about the people I work with. My friend, everybody.
Like, were they like millennial age or were they like? This is what I'm curious.
I started noticing that. Yeah, it was a lot of like, I would say millennial.
What age was it? What year was it?
2012, 13, whenever that came
That's
out.
the beginning of the event.
Dude, I'm telling you, that had a part to do with it, because people were like, I don't know, man. I'm like, I'm all, and by all means, do whatever the hell you want to do. But what are we celebrating here and calling these people our heroes? And this fucking, person just killed somebody in a car accident, or like two people, and they swept.
Well, also, Dana Gould, I saw on a talk show talk about it. He had a funny joke where it was like, because I remember before that transition, all the kind of tabloids like, what the hell's wrong with Bruce Jenner? His hair's long. Was he transition? Like the most vicious kind of like where they're trying to make him look like a creep weirdo.
Yeah.
And then that was like, this was Dana Gould made a joke about that. Like, what is? It's like, oh, this is congratulations, you're beautiful. Like it was the most bizarre heel turn. So I wonder what that is exactly, because that's like all at once. That was like all at once across a lot of media. It suddenly turned. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't know how you even coordinate that. Like, they couldn't have all together been like, oh, I think they're all blanks. Yeah.
This is what I think. I think that, and this is what I tell my friends about like news, people in the news. Like, they don't hire people and say this for us. We want you to say this. They hire people that are already saying that. And you give them the platform and you give them the green light, and they know whether you're working for Fox or you're working for MSNBC, you know what the bosses want to hear. It's this kind of unspoken thing where,
that's interesting.
Stay away from this, maybe stay away from that, but they're never going out there and saying, hey, fight this cause. They are giving the platform to people already doing it. And that's kind of
you get your room to play. It's like when I went to China, it was like, you talk about whatever you want to talk about, but just don't bring up the Chinese government.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot of latitude.
Yeah,
so if everybody came out of the same class of bullshit that they're like, I'm gonna weave this in however I can, because that's when the turn. Like also, 2012, I think, because a few people say 2013 was like the weird shift with stuff. It's like around Tumblr times, but 2012, it makes me laugh because that was supposed to be the end of the world. Mayan calendar.
Mayan calendar in December,
and something ended and then it just got gradual because all these people started worming their way in. There's always like younger people coming up, so that's what this batch of people has in their heads is like, and then it's mixed with what's so gross is it's not like hippies. The amount, if you think of abuse that I've fashionably seen turned on hippies growing up. Right, that was like fucking hippies. Like, oh my god, everybody owes hippies an apology.
Take a fucking bath already.
Wow,
Jesus.
they were so much cooler than these people by so much. I mean, by so much.
Bro,
and
it's not even close.
It's like I don't know if it's like a neo. It was like whenever the word neocon I started to hear all the time. There's this thing where you're like passionate and a sellout. Like you're a passionate sellout. Like, no, there's no problem.
Absolutely,
obviously, like. I can fight the patriarchy with my job of $1 million something. Like they're all full of shit, but it's amazing. And it's the remember the Christian right was the thing, and there's all these like phonies. In fact, it was like just like the year before.
Oh yeah, all these people
were like
saying
phony,
no abortions and no gays, and they're getting butt fucked in the freaking.
If you watch a mashup video,
yeah,
watch a mashup of all the people disavowing gay marriage. When it came out, like all the like,
oh yeah,
and you're like, wow, like, and they're like passionately, like they really believe it.
But there are people that do believe it, and that's why Trump happened, because those people started thinking they weren't being heard anymore. Like, I'm not saying I agree. I'm saying this is where people who are like, finally, somebody coming out here and pushing against all this bullshit, and they had a point.
Yeah.
Like
the year before,
have a point.
Dude, the year before it was like the redneck comedy tour was like still like there's like these like cultural thing like Duck Dynasty, like that was a 2012 end of the that was and that gross show where they have like 20 kids.
Oh god, yeah. What the
like,
hell? Yeah, dude. The thing
they're in a crazy religious cult. So we made a reality show of like, isn't this interesting? And like, I think half of it is like, look at white people did this. Like they want to show this on. You're like, really? And they have 20. So they had 20 kids, and it's like a weird like worship your dad's penis cult. My friend used to be in it. I saw her on my old podcast. She's a comic named Brooke Arnold, and her story is crazy. Dude. It's some like so the son just recently got arrested from the show because do you remember what charges came out that he used to like touch his sister's boobs while they were asleep?
No.
I dropped my and it was like it kind of flew by, but now I guess he downloaded some kind of like child porn or something like serious. I mean, I might be wrong, but it's like something like that. If I'm wrong.
Dude, it doesn't surprise me, man. It's like there are so many weird people, but that's another thing is that everybody wants to say everybody's all good or all bad, which is a total fallacy. There's people out there just have weird little kinks, and they're staying on the DL about it. And if they're doing certain things out in public, it's like, geez, the crime. I can only imagine.
Well, the dude is, and this is what she told me about it. It's because it's like prison sexuality. Like they don't tell the kids anything about how sex works at all. And then there's like you have like a Bible amount of sisters and brothers, okay, and then
like a biblical amount of
brothers and you just go through puberty, and you're like it's like this enforced childhood until you're suddenly an adult, and now you're like the man. It's like a kid until you're an adult now, which they do in a lot of religions, like Orthodox. That's what all those Hasidic, like deep Hasidic in New York. That's what they do. It's like a weird. So that all spat out of that, but meanwhile. They had just this show at the height of when you were like, I guess when like the end of Bush being president, this was Obama, but Bush had made that born again, like, there's a market we want to sell to.
Yeah.
So that dictates it. So the marketing, it really is about the marketing shifting from that demographic. They're like, oh, you don't have money anymore. You don't have any jobs.
Yeah, dude.
And shifting completely to the remaining like white job people. And that's what they're into now.
Dude, yeah, Obama being president gave people an opportunity, and sometimes it was really good to be able to like put different ideas out there, and people are a little more open to it. It's like I don't think that it's like as organized as everybody thinks, and everybody, they do have the Bilderberg group and all this weird shit where certain decisions get
dude?
made, but
Did you see that guy on the guy that's from MTV, Adam Curry? He goes on Rogan. I just saw a clip of it.
oh yeah.
It's something called the ESG,
Okay.
Environmental Social Corporate Governance. I don't know why there's not a C, but
Okay.
it's ESG. It's like a credit score for companies, and they all try to get a high score for like marketing reasons. And so
Yeah.
it's like it's not a good metric of what people think or feel. It's like, but it's technically true until these rich people realize they're being ripped off. So that could take how long? How long
Long
did we
time.
work last? So Tesla, he was saying, is like actually has a low Chinese social credit company score, because you think it would be a higher one because of all the thing, but it doesn't, because they're grading you on like these ridiculous things. So when you see stuff now, I don't know how anybody falls for it now unless they make a lot of money doing it, and even then you got to be really like, I'm just going to succeed. It doesn't matter what happens. Like you
It's
got to be a
just
real.
yeah, you have to have like I think people, the smooth talkers and everything out there in the world, don't ever estimate the stupidity of certain people, where if you can just get people behind you and fighting the cause with you and for you, then that really helps your cause. You can get people behind you, and it's like,
Well,
oh
I'd like to
shit.
talk
Then
about
it
my
becomes,
cause.
dude,
Defund the fire department. It's time. I think it's racist.
dude, don't even get my brother started on the fire department. He's like, all these fucking guys, they just sit around all day and make tons of money and they don't do shit. I'm like, I know, but like, you need them when you need them. You need them. That's
Yeah.
kind of the thing, though. You want them there.
Nobody ever is mad at the fire department, and they've been plenty racist.
Oh, dude, all driving around their dually trucks. Every fucking firefighter has a ridiculously large truck that they don't need, but everybody else at the firehouse has one. So, I wanted to talk to you about, speaking of like all these things that we're talking about. I was a Jehovah's Witness growing up as well.
Oh yeah?
And
How
yeah,
long?
I was born into it, and I was like 22
Okay.
when I was
It's
in.
like kind of how old I was. I think
Yeah.
I was like 21 maybe.
You were born into it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. So
Yeah,
mom and
I was a pure blood
yeah. When did you get baptized? See, this is funny. We can talk
when I
about
was
all this shit.
I don't know, 18 or something. Like
18.
18?
Okay, I was
Or maybe a year after.
yeah, I was 13. I was a youngin, and
Oh, really? You must have
yeah.
been very zealous. Or
Oh, dude.
must have been a very
Man.
zealous
Auxiliary pioneering. I was getting those RVs up, dude. You got to get those return visits
My
up.
sister
I mean,
did
I,
that. My
I was
sister
in,
auxiliary.
yeah.
My sister went to Pioneer School. That's what it was.
Oh yeah, so did mine. Both of mine. But did you ever become like a ministerial servant, or how deep did you?
No,
No.
I just gave talks. I never held the microphone.
Yeah.
I never like walked with that boom mic to.
You didn't like
give answers.
yeah, I ran the sound in the back, dude. That was
Oh,
my
really?
thing. Like I was running the
lot of-
microphones.
It's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, I liked it though. I was like, oh, just give me something to do,
Did they have a piano at your Kingdom Hall, or you just play recording?
No piano. We just played recordings. I always kind of was like, man, I wish that we had some of that like black church vibe up in this bitch. Like let's get some
No,
singing
it's
going on in here.
1920s.
Yeah.
Whatever was popular with like the whitest white people in 1920 kind of music. And there's, because when I was little, there was a piano. The first one we were at, there was somebody. In fact, the first couple, somebody played piano. So I remember when it like started just being a recording, and it was like, I remember my dad saying some dumb, like, "You kids are gonna learn how to play the piano, and stop watching TV and play." But because he's like, can't believe there's no one. He like kind of had a little dad fit of like. It was noticeable when it changed. Like, there's nobody plays piano anymore.
Yeah.
If you run the gays out, who's going to play the piano at church? When you run out all the homosexuals.
Dude, it's hard to explain to people you know, what it was like growing up like in the truth or within the Jehovah's Witnesses or whatever. And
You think it's
because,
hard to explain? What's hard to? What do you think is hard to explain?
well, I'll say this. It's, well, first off, it's hard to explain how you can come out of that, and because some people have ideas about, and they're right, because something that I don't like, obviously, I think I don't give a fuck what you do in life or what you believe, as long as it makes you a better person, or you know, you're actively trying to be a better person as a result of it, then you're good with me. But when you use that as a tool to judge people and be cunts and try and look down at people who have these crazy superiority complexes, and you start thinking that your thinking is in line with God's and everybody else is just tripping.
Is that so in like how Jehovah's Witnesses is you? That's what you, because you know technically it's not supposed to be like that. There's a natural thing that happens, and it's different in every like clique. So when I like, there's definitely that. My congregation was kind of nice. Like I was friends with a lot of the people there.
That's
were not
the point,
like,
yeah.
So, but we moved around a lot, so I didn't know. And you know, I felt bad leaving when I did, even though I was like, I don't believe this, but I felt bad. Like
The brothers and sisters, the camaraderie and community. And
yeah, I
shit.
had very,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I mean, a bunch of people left. I still talk to, but you know, I have friends that like I probably won't ever speak to again. Not
Were you
'cause
disfellowshipped?
I think I am. I didn't go. I didn't go to
Yeah,
the ceremony.
that's the right answer.
They were gonna have a ceremony. I didn't go to it.
Yeah.
But it depends where you are, and that was also there's also like a money thing, because that would be with like the kids, like whatever the high school hormonal stuff that's gonna happen in school that you're no part of this world is gonna happen in the. So it would depend how many people of teenage, like young, fuckable age do you have, okay? and then how much money do these fuckable ones have? And there's like little cliques form. And then, you know, but it could be a competition thing. Maybe like my sister was like pioneering because her friends must have been doing it. And, you know, and she would like, and she told herself she believed it. Like she came home and told my mother oral sex is against.
Is against? What do you mean?
You're not even supposed to have oral sex.
Oh yeah. Oh dude.
That's face sodomy.
Yeah.
So
face sodomy, Jesus.
And now my mom was like a Catholic Jehovah's Witness. She was like real, you know.
My mom was brought up Catholic and converted to J-Dub when she was
well,
like
what's
25.
good, this was good about my mom, more important than any kind of being Jehovah's Witness, and she's still in it and believe, you know, she's not gonna.
Same here.
But more important than that, she's a crazy person. So she's gonna do it. She's gonna do it how she's gonna do it. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Copy that.
And she doesn't like. So there's a bunch of people that like, because you're supposed to rule like if something's wrong. You're like, well, I'm just not doing that, and I don't want to stumble anyone.
Well, that's the point, is that when people can do it.
But that's
like, right,
that's what you brought up, is the thing of stumbling.
Yeah.
That's the thing you were talking about of
Oh
you know,
yeah. I don't want to.
This helps the right or whatever. Everything is. This is what I hate the most. Is everything is stumbling your brother's the worst thing that could happen, because what if he loses faith in the institution? That's everywhere. That's not like it,
Yeah.
and it doesn't even matter what the institution is. Depending on your location, that's what's going to happen, because none of these things address like real core things about people that they kind of like, you know, like I said, I knew a bunch of people that were good, but when like after I left years later, like the secret workings that I found out about that I had no idea, like everybody's fucking each other's wife and like, you know, they're probably out knocking on doors, getting all boned up and like,
yeah, dude, there was some, yeah, because they're human beings, and unfortunately, that's when when shit goes down and human beings start being human beings, then it's like, well, you're gonna bring reproach upon Jehovah's name, so you can't let it's very hush hush. If you are gonna make a mistake, go to the back room and talk to the elders about it. Pray about it, whatever, but don't tell anybody about that, because that could bring reproach upon Jehovah's name. And that's like the whole reason why, you know, you have like enough people, millions and millions of people, and there's men who are like hanging out with women or young kids. Some kids or women are going to get fucked. Like if you have 7-8 million people on the planet, this is why I say to like my atheist friends, they get like really, really upset with like religion. And I'm like, well, you're upset with people. Remember that, because you don't believe in God. You're upset with what people do with the word of it.
Like a lot of them are not upset with religion. They love it the first chance they get to be like not like and you see it like all the, and then they base on crazy. You know, like if you watch like those TikToks of like we had I didn't find it. I don't know who found the video. Maybe Kyle did, but it was this girl doing a TikTok to herself of her like her gender changes daily, and she has bracelets to let you know. Now that, and she's probably I'd say about 15 or 14. And but do you remember like
Hurts my feelings.
like 20 years before that? I remember it was a big story. The kids have bracelets of like what kind, like where they take it. And like take dick, like,
what?
You know, like they have an anal bracelet and then you put it on. It was like, what's the world
pride.
coming to? Yeah, I don't remember where, but it was like the big story. I remember making a joke about it to some like young kids in the audience, and they really like didn't know what I was talking about. This black lady sitting there, she's that's like 20 years ago. Like, I'm not like, oh shit, she's right. And so now that's their thing. So that's like really cool to fuck a lot and whatever. So now the thing is to not fuck a lot, but talk about your gender a lot. Like talk a huge amount about your genitals or whatever, but don't do anything sexual.
Dude, bro, that's what
always,
like it hurts.
But
my
think
brain.
about it all day. All day, think about how people view it and whatever. But then don't any kind of sexual behavior. Whenever you hear that, what do they call it? Not sexual misconduct. Like half of the sexual misconduct is just sexual conduct.
Yeah,
It's not like
yeah.
Like he had missed the sexual conduct. Like so, yeah, it's wild. They they really did not improve on. I have all that stuff kicking around in my head from all the Bible, because all the Bible stories.
The Bible story.
Sexuality is like that weird, like, you know, he forced her to lie down with him, you know, like language, and it's all like incest, like it's all like weird. If you told somebody the plot, it sounds like a fucking porno. Like someone wrote as a porno, like just this guy and his 2 daughters, and like the city's dead, so they have to fuck.
Yeah, dude, Sarah
it's the daughter's idea. They're like, we should fuck our dad. It's like something out of one of those novels, like Tijuana Bibles or something, you know?
Tijuana Bibles, bro. That's the thing. Is like now with everybody, all identity politics, any weird thing that anybody feels, it's like, oh well, let's celebrate this kind of thing. It's, dude, I don't know. At the end of the day, that shit, like, not to get fucking too serious about it, but for instance, with the trans people, the people who get the sex changes, like over 40% of them end up wanting to have them reversed. And
I thought it was not. I don't know if that's true. I thought it was mostly with women.
With women,
like the most dissatisfied with it.
Copy that. That could be it.
But
well, my point is at what point are you kind of catering? No offense to mental illness. Like, I'm not saying that you can walk, you can run, you can drive a car, you can operate and everything, but there are things that are wrong. Like I have a nerve issue with my feet. What? And I was born with it. I have a nerve issue like in my feet and shit, and it was just something that was a little off.
Did you think that
fine otherwise?
Well, maybe they just need to transition into hands. Did you think of getting surgery to make your feet into hands?
That's what. Okay, so
call them hands.
I identify as hands. Yeah, dude. Again, I'm not trying to be a dickhead. I'm not trying to tell people who are like different that, you know, because the idea is you don't want people killing themselves because they feel so left out of society and all that and shit. And I
well, I don't care. Look, if you could get earplugs, if you can destroy, I'd like to compare the numbers of people who regret transitioning to the numbers of people who regret those big fucking earplugs that morons get.
Gauges?
Yeah, ear gauges. And I'll bet the numbers for ear gauges is off the charts. Like,
yeah, but you're not mutilated. I mean, I guess you are kind of mutilated.
Yeah, you're mutilated. You got mutilated. Anybody who ages long enough, it's such a thing that you will live to regret. Like anybody has tattoos over a certain age. That's the coolest thing of tattoos. The coolest end game of tattoos is being like, I shouldn't have got it. It was dumb. Yeah. That's like the cool part of that. The whole entire other part is so just tattoos alone are so fucking mediocre of a life choice, and also mentally ill just to get that. You're mentally ill.
So yeah, but, you got the option to do whatever you want.
Yeah, so okay, cater to.
But we're gonna change the world as a result of it.
No, it's not that. It's not that. It's like I want to, you know, market wise, like whatever my crazy is, I want cater to. But here's the thing: the weird part is, you're trying to make it like there was no transition at all when they're like you're supposed to be this, by the way, 2012 when I first saw this, it was funny, you see these like weird turds dropping from the sky of like stupid shit, and it was Piers Morgan and Janet Mock, who's like a trans.
Oh yeah.
But Janet Mock came out like she came out hot. So like considering how it could have gone.
Yeah.
Okay. And here's my evidence for it is Piers Morgan, because the whole story was like, this used to be a man. Can you believe this? Look at how great she looks.
Yeah.
That's what he was doing at the time.
Yeah.
So they had like, you could probably find the shots of it on it was they showed like the blurb, like used to be a man under Janet Mock. And it was all this like, how dare you? And at the time, it was like, unless you went to school to learn that, you'd be like, yeah, she gotta, yeah, I'll call her, but that was a man who's like, I want to be a woman, right? Like, what does insurance pay for?
Yeah, dude.
And then, so that was where I first heard that, like, no, they're always, because I said the thing of, I remember when I'd be online before talking to people, they're like, yeah, that's really transphobic. I'm like, no, you want insurance to pay for this, right? So you're telling me there's something, I didn't say there's something wrong with you. You said, I'm in the wrong body. That's wrong. There's something wrong that you would like to treat.
And you want other people to pay for it, but there's also nothing wrong with you.
So do you see the crossing the line part? Yeah. Like now it's also you have to share and make it really real for me. It's not up to me. You should know how real it is to you. You told me you felt like this always. If I don't ever call you that, what does it matter? That doesn't affect. That's the part where it's like crossing over. It's like, if this is real, it really, you shouldn't. But there is a real thing of, I've known a bunch of people, especially in comedy and like New York, like that's a thing people were like into. It's always like a DL kind of thing. But our comedians that I know are pretty open about when they're into that.
Chicks
they're like
dicks.
into that. Yeah. And
Jim Norton.
It's New York, so you're not seeing like, but I'm sure you could get beat up going to like maybe not the block I lived on, Washington Heights, but like further north of the where the musical takes place.
Okay.
The Heights, the Heights.
I don't know that.
It just
area.
came out. It's the guy.
The guy.
No,
I don't know the Heights.
Yeah, the Puerto Rican guy who played Hamilton on Broadway.
Oh, is that him? He's the one who's in it?
Yeah, he got in trouble for that. The Heights is like some sappy. I lived in Washington Heights for like years before I moved out here to LA. And he got in trouble. They're like, where are all the Afro-Caribbean Latino faces? Because the Dominicans are too white in it. Okay? Now, anybody that's from that area will tell you it's 100% accurate. That's not where the black, not that you can't walk in there if you're black.
Dominican. He's super light skinned.
Yeah, it's not like they're barred from the neighborhood, but they just don't live there. They like 150s, I think like 158 or so, like, or 153. That's the darker. It's like a color gradient kind of. Okay, with free movement, it's just people settle into homes in these spots where they got family or whatever. So his thing, wherever it takes place, had to be near where I live, by a hospital, by Presbyterian, and it's completely accurate. That's what it looks like.
Yeah, but he got in trouble.
So the person that yelled at him is not from there. Doesn't know jack shit about the neighborhood or any of the ethnicities. They don't give a shit about the local flavor at all. They don't care about that. Mm-hmm. They want a quota hit to fit the narrative that they made up, rather than he didn't say any of this. Like I would have said it. Like, I tell you, like, that is pretty accurate. Like, what are you talking about? So he had to go, oh, I'm sorry. And if you think of the wrong race playing a thing, you're like, okay, it's cool that he's Hamilton. Like, what is going on?
Dude, what the fuck? Dude,
John Wayne was a more accurate Genghis Khan, if you're going to get pissy about it.
Bro,
but the idea is like, no, that's different.
Well, that's just kind of what, like, this shit, like, it just hurts my brain a little bit. I don't know, like, what the end game is, because there has to be some sort of, like, basis in, well, I guess there doesn't. I think
the end game.
Logic.
It's a revelation coming to pass. You
21, 3, and 4. The former
picked a real
things
dumb time to
away.
leave the truth. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Dude, I'll tell you. Like, well, that's what. It's funny because I thought I wanted to talk to you about that because, something that I appreciate about my upbringing and everything was that I didn't have a hard time, like, not going along with everybody, like the trends, or people say do this, and I had no problem being like, nah, I'm good. And I taking that into
Yeah.
adulthood. I'm glad that was taught to me at a young age.
Yeah, that's the thing I think is good about it, is that specific, is the thing of self-marginalizing yourself and being like, I don't really want to be part of your thing. That's 100% the best thing to have, because then you never have to get emotional over.
Yeah,
Like
that's
a
right.
puppet show, like the Who's the President?
Dude.
Like children at a puppet show. I mean, not even an animated cartoon, like tears at a visible puppet show.
Yeah, that's
Or like a flag thing, because that's the other. Because when people are like, free speech, not if a company does it, it's not going. Well, what about Colin Kaepernick? He can't take a fucking knee if he wants to, if he feels that way.
yeah, I dude, that's the thing.
They have to defend that. That's like the double standard that is amazing. And so just not being born into that emotional connection is like Christmas. I don't have any kind of feelings about Christmas. People think it's Christmas and birthdays are the hard. No, that's one of the best parts. Is that I feel nothing about Christmas. Like
Dude,
I don't even understand what you people are talking about.
I'm going through this with my girl right now because we just moved into a new place, and she's like, "What are your thoughts on having a Christmas tree?" Because she knows my background. I was like, "I don't give a fuck." I'm like, "You have your Christmas tree. I'm never going to be that guy who's dressing up as Santa, going like ho 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 and botting the whole thing. If you want to have family over, we can have family over. Everybody can get together. That sort of bringing people together. That's dope. But like,
yeah, right. I view it that like King Solomon, where my concubines can do whatever thing they brought from their homeland.
biblical reference. Yeah, dude, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's a real that's real kind of freedom. It's kind of the freedom of the guy like from Game of Thrones, the eunuch who the
Oh
guy,
yeah.
they're always giving him a good ribbing about his balls.
He's like, my little birds know everything they need to know about you.
His little bird, these kids are my balls now. So they always, but it's a funny thing because if you think about it, like if you've been a eunuch for your whole life and imagine how much you would get done. You could be the head spy of Westeros.
Yeah, dude.
Without balls distracting you.
Oh, both. Dude, yeah.
It's just a thing to not be ruled over by.
Yeah. Yeah, we all choose our own master.
I joined a UFO cult. That's why I'm bringing this up. We're getting.
Yeah, dude. Me and Eddie Bravo, flatearth.com. Yeah, dude. That's the thing.
Oh.
No, I don't know. I don't know Eddie Bravo. I just know that he's a flat earther, and along with like Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving, he's a basketball player. Jets or the Nets. Sorry.
Okay, I was at an in-law, like not in-laws because I wasn't married, but I was at the girl I was dating her folks' place or her brother's place for Christmas, and like her folks came over there. I was talking to a brother who's a sportscaster or something up in anyway, but he was talking about, I don't know if that's the basketball player, but one of them was like, we didn't land on the moon or whatever, or something flat Earth.
Yeah, no, and this
dude loves like space stuff. He's really into it, which I like that stuff, But he goes,
it's evident through your background, yeah, especially.
Yeah, you see the background. So he goes, yeah, it's really dangerous for him to be doing this with his. I don't think he said platform, but he might as well have said platform. And I'm like, are you like? It's literally the least dangerous thing that's ever happened in the history of the world. Here's what's dangerous. If you would turn to a fucking basketball player to get your space needs.
Exactly.
That's when
needs.
Yeah, that's the danger is like.
Exactly.
Who the fuck gives a shit? If I was him, I'd say all kinds of crazy shit. I play basketball. Who cares what he thinks about space?
Yeah, I don't
and
care.
The people that are into him, you think all they want is an excuse not to give a shit about space because they like basketball. And they don't want to feel dumb. That's what people go to this stuff for. It's a way to not have an excuse to not like whatever.
Dude,
not feel dumb. I'm like, no, I'm actually smarter.
Yeah. Yeah. Who are you going to for your information? Well, that's the thing with Twitter is another thing is like, you can go on there and make some sort of tweet about flat earthers and talk shit about flat earthers. And you put a hashtag on there and you can get like 5,000 replies and think, oh my God, the whole world thinks the earth. That is like the 5,000 flat earthers who are on Twitter and they are going to find that thing and they're going to spawn, and it's going to give you an extremely skewed idea of
Did something happen with flat earthers?
Yeah, dude.
Were you attacked by the flat earthers?
Yeah. So I think that's another thing with like cancel culture and all this shit that's going on, where it's like, oh, well, you know, there was some rumblings online. People were upset about this. People were upset about that. Yeah, like 900 people tweeted something. That doesn't mean shit. There's fucking 8 billion people on this planet.
But on your ESG, it does.
Dude,
on your company's ESG, it means something. Dude. So they're all. I think people. I don't know if they're coming off it, but I never knew what the thing was because it's so bizarre. Because they any company, it's like their Nielsen ratings were for years. You know what? Here's what happens whenever the real estate bubble of that collapses. That's inevitable. That's what the end game of it is, because it's a lot of money being thrown away.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, some of it. In fact, that the reason it goes on so long is because a whole bunch of these people are guilty of every single one of these things worse than anyone you've heard anything about. They're all guilty worse than that. So these are all the buffer. And then there's an entire network of people that helps, like, not to bring reproach on Miramax's name or whatever.
Viacom.
Like,
yeah.
There's all these people that's their job. So, like, you know, the person who had to hold the door shut in the bathroom with Weinstein and whoever, like, pees on an actress. There's there's some woman who has that job.
Yeah, she signed lots of NDAs.
And you're not going to hear you're not going to, like, that's all to protect their own.
Yeah.
But it does once in a while. You see backfire. I mean, what happens if it backfires and somebody does get grabbed? Like, it's like a Game of Thrones thing, and they are like, you're out of the mob. And,
yeah, hell yeah.
And I know people where I talk to them, like, and they just got like some crazy burn that way, and you know, I don't think people think that it's a thing until it lands on them.
Yeah.
So now it's landed on enough people that, you know, were dismissing it. That's when the value starts to plummet. But again, does depend on who's spending money. So
exactly. No, you're right about that. Well, I mean, I wasn't even planning on bringing it up, but you had a little run in with that. You made some jokes. You're a fucking comedian. You wrote some jokes and people were jumping down your throat. What was that experience like?
Because I didn't get any trouble for
well, you know what I mean. You got backlash or whatever, the rape
No,
jokes.
I was not making jokes. I've never gotten in trouble for making a joke. I never have. I
even heard you on oh, you know what? You were talking about people claiming that Amy and the staff were stealing jokes, and you got some backlash because of that. And like, right. Again, there was like salon.com wrote something about one of your jokes or some shit like that, and it became
no, they didn't write about anything with jokes. I used to be on Facebook all the time, but anyway, I might won't even get into it. Like, you Google it to see the horseshit of it, but none of that was.
What was it like? That's the point. That's what I wanted to ask you.
I mean,
we don't have to get into it.
No, I made fun of this like real demented blogger. Because I said she didn't exist on Facebook, like with Sam. She wrote like a thing about Sam. He used to have a joke of he had sex with a black woman. It was really uncomfortable because she kept saying the N-word. And he goes, no. And that's so. I think it's a pretty harmless joke in an appropriate setting. You know, like, it's not any kind of genius, like, getting a fight of like, no, this is. But there was this article that came out about how, like, bad he is. I'm like, what the like. And this is also in the time when there wasn't any kind of thing of telling you. So I was like, let's say that this person doesn't exist. It's a character we made up. Yeah. And she, and so for like, I don't know, like 6 hours or not even, maybe a whole bunch of people thought this writer's not real. That's it. That's so I didn't understand what I was doing one bit. Okay. Because this person is demented. Okay. By the way, here's why I even have them on my mind, because it's ironic. I've seen a bunch of people have these campaigns against them that are like left wing, like this guy Jesse Singal. I'm reading this thing. He has a I don't know if it's blocked and reported. It's a good podcast. And I don't know, a girl's like a lesbian, and he's not gay, but he's like he's a very lefty man, obviously. It's just that he ran afoul of this maniac, same as mine, but now they're a man. Now this person's a man. So I didn't realize it was the same person who would try to get things going on people, like, but they've been moving up the like the ladder with jobs, and all these people know this person's fucked up, but they all got to make clickbait articles, so I'm sure it's a thing to get things going, to do like smears. So yeah, it's wild. And this was like a hardcore feminist, like I hate, openly would say just like the most foul shit about like what I'm just trying to destroy a man. And so now his eye, now imagine how much more dangerous now that he's a man, how much more aggressive and dangerous. So, and against, like, I talked to this trans woman writer that this person, when she was a girl, was attacking. She has a whole thing of like harassing some, like, so all the things you can, so anyway, the summary of what was in trouble for, because I've asked people like, okay, you tell me what I'm in trouble for.
Yeah.
And I get nobody's ever gave the same answer. So what I got in trouble for saying, rape charges shouldn't be handled through social media. That's what I got in trouble for. I said, on your way, look, you don't have to go to the police. I'm going to tell you, you got to go. But on your way to Twitter, maybe hit up the cops.
Yeah.
Because if it's somebody who's guilty, it's even worse that you did this, because now they're not.
Yeah.
But the idea had come from college. They had all these like rape courts, like kangaroo rape courts in college that were run by like the feminist section of school.
Now I'm remembering.
So it's on Vice. It's on Vice.
Yeah.
And she's like, why handle this here and not call the police? Because they're like, there's an epidemic of rape on campuses. They're like, well, it's very hard to prove it in court, so we like to do it. I couldn't believe I'm watching this. I'm like, are you joking? So this is in college, and colleges get sued all the time. Now, the real story is this college thing is no different than Jehovah Witnesses or the Catholics. It's a way for them to be like, yeah, people don't get raped here. We have a court, kangaroo court, without having to be legal. It's a way for a college, because guess what? These campuses are where people get raped. People are drunk all the time. They attract people like it's going to be a party, and that's what happens with young people, blackout drunk, horrible things. And the college is directly responsible for it, because what are they going to do? So that's their out. But if you're a pissant blogger, like you've got a burning hatred driving you to whatever, then it's like, I have a little bit of power. I don't care if a rapist goes to prison. I just know he doesn't go to this school. So that's what was so that's what started bleeding in up through the improv scene, by the way. So a collection of, anyway, so I had posted a thing. So I don't think this is controversial at all, this idea, but I had started having a back and forth with a lot of like comics that I don't know who they are, but they have like green hair and they're like, I would try to talk to them and they would say the craziest shit to me. Dude, I was like, I remember being like, because it was specifically because this guy who I did not know, I didn't know him, but somebody had Facebooked that this guy is considered as UCB did an investigation and found him guilty of rape. UCB, the improv school. So if you have any information or whatever, please. So I saw it on Michael Shea's Facebook first. He was like, go to the what are you, crazy? So I said something like that, like, maybe go to the police. So that started a whole thing. So I had, at this point, I had no idea what the agenda was officially of like, no, it's just a thing. Because now it really blossomed into a real piece of shit. Hey, Cosby's free. Hey, you know what? We know why Cosby's out? Because I'm fucking right.
Yeah, dude. They used that.
And it was a Me Too victim. No, but there was no Me Too when this was happening. Okay, there's no Me Too. This was the beginning of a weird. So, by the way, the guy who I wasn't saying was innocent, I said if he's guilty, it's worse. Like, I don't even understand. If there's no charges, then his punishment for a person they're saying is a serial rapist, who I believe was, when I heard the full story later, he's going to be free, and his punishment is he doesn't have a monthly show at UCB. So this is like a crazy, So I found out later, by the way, I talked to one of the people. So I never had any arguments with a victim of this person.
Yeah.
I never did. A bunch of crazy people in some group. It was like a thing where it was about so just how bad, by the way, if you really do have something happen to you like that, if you have like a online women's group around you, it's a nightmare because your rape is about them now. And that's what happened. So this person called me anonymously. I talked to them for like a week every day, and it was great. And I don't know who they are. They're very funny, and she wasn't the one who put that up. It was some idiot from at UCB, and UCB had a lot of warnings about this guy. But anyway, well, we can't. And by the way, I don't know legally that they could. They legally could, but I mean, you could be like, hey, what is this like? But
dude, shit's getting so strange.
So they cover their ass. But the girl that posted this that they've investigated, they were going to sue her. UCB was going to sue her because that's a crazy thing. I'm not wrong. My thing was, okay, I'm not even saying you have to prove any. Tell the story of what happened, and don't tell me that a clown college has determined.
Yeah.
Like, so then that ended up being like completely, I was the opposite end of that argument where like, well, women should tell. Then I had somebody tell me asking a woman to tell her story is like re-raping the victim.
Dude.
So I wrote something making fun of, I was in an argument with somebody and I wrote something making fun of it. What ended up happening was this person took all their comments down that they said, took stuff I said, like posts in response to their like, and then went to the victim of this went to the alleged victim, like, look what this guy said about you, which is foul as shit. Okay.
Dude. See, this is why it's like, so,
wait. Well, this is why you don't, well, I didn't see back then it was like fun to argue with people on Facebook but also not right. Like I was definitely addicted to being on there, like venting whatever, I'm not really like, this is not a good Facebook. Like don't, so,
don't follow.
And I had no idea. And I was also, it was like originally, I'm a comic. I just say whatever the fuck I want. Like that was a big, a fairly unprecedented time period of that if you add it up. And it's, you only get little bursts of that before there's some kind of thing. I mean, historically. So I'm like, so this thing of where you're a senator, you're running for senator and somebody can, dig up with, I mean, they don't need much now. It would have to be like a real thing. But now you can use it. Like that guy from Young Turks tried to run for Congress. They found some essay he wrote where like, women don't fuck me enough. That's some angry thing. They deny their biological urge to fuck Cenk Uyghur in their ridiculous creed.
He's an incel.
Yeah, he had, so who gives a shit that he wrote that though? I don't have any, like, he was like 20 or something.
Yeah, dude.
Like, he wasn't, people aren't morons when they're 20. So, but they're like, well, he's not fit to be a congressman because of somebody who should be running would never have ever said. So this is like that's what all this stuff is now, is people's personal grudges. And long story short, the girl that called me, I don't think she really got any kind of justice whatsoever, and was like, she'd say funny shit when I talked to her, and she's like, don't tell anybody that I said that because I'll get in trouble. I'm like, wow.
Dude.
So, but at that time there was anything like cancel culture, because it's not a real thing. It's a real culture. Like people, it's not a real thing. No, it's a thing because everybody brings it up every goddamn day. So it's a thing. Obviously, it's a thing. You're like, I'm sick of hearing about it. Are you? Are you sick of it?
Yeah.
Let's be friends.
Yeah.
So they go. So it was called call out culture back then. It was a thing of, I don't know, fourth wave feminism. I learned all these terms from so I was on there way too much. And then you start to think like, so that's how everybody believes shit's real, is being on there in the first place like that. Saying you're like, why are you, like, I'll do stuff now. I'll put stuff up, but I'm like either trying to make a joke or I'm promoting something.
Yeah.
The thing of telling you, like, what that and it was a big trick that I certainly, everybody fell for, is give us all your personal information. And that includes your feelings and thoughts, stuff that you used to have to pay people for. And so like, oh, I want to say, and so that, you see those tests, like which Sex and the City whore are you?
Yeah.
Like, oh, where's Samantha? And like, they don't care if you're Samantha, obviously. Yeah. That's how BuzzFeed started with those listicles. It was getting your data.
4chan. Yeah.
So that's and that doesn't mean just a company is getting your data. It means like loser startups, like an insane blogger who became a trans man and now carries on a war of vigilante justice against people that are like the softest, not in any way harmful to society people.
Yeah.
And so
I mean, they don't like bullies. And I don't like bullies either, but in the process of trying to police these bullies, they become bullies themselves.
they were all bullies. All the people
Yeah.
were all bullies.
Yeah.
Whatever they don't like bullies. All of it is that, and it's the most like, you really see that there's a real like urge of like, yeah, I can take all your clout, like that's what people, because if you watch like YouTube, the kids do that to each other.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
so now there's an entire language about this fake, that whole argument about like women don't lie, all that nonsense. That's now gonna. Oh, do you think Cosby guilty? Well, guess what? You fucked up. I guess. Now this is all gonna come to a head. So there's already a younger generation of people who are like, they don't really. It's not really a workable thing to be like just anybody says anything, unless it's someone I don't like. If it's someone I don't like, then they're a conspiracy something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like pure, like that's where it's really at. So I don't know. I just enjoy watching people get hoisted by their own petard by it when it happens.
Yeah, man. Well,
But I don't feel good about anybody. Like there's nobody that I go like, oh, that's good.
Yeah, man. I mean,
like that's the especially comedians. That's a thing of it's a real like early comedian stage. The time, like I don't know if it goes how far it goes, maybe like 7 years in, depending on where you're at. Where I see people where you're like talking about like who belongs in where, and if they deserved it and all that shit. That's all stuff. If you're getting work or you're working, nobody says that one. It's always like you're not getting whatever you think you should be getting.
Yeah,
that's a standard of all comedy,
so funny,
thing.
Dude.
So that's already a shitty, and every comic has it, or they hopefully grow out of it, or sometimes they never do, or you have like a grudge against like two people,
Yeah.
But some of them, so there wasn't an option of turning that into a whole, like it was a natural fit for a comedian to be self-absorbed and get into a thing of like, this is and also in show business there is a genuine amount, which there's still like of like I don't know, racist isn't even the word. I mean, it is racist, but it's like they're, the people running it all now, there's not really a lot more people coming ground up unless they just say divert. We're looking for diverse people, right? So they go, the people they get,
again, the people that they can use.
They don't want people who are like, go get like doing their own thing or make it. They want people that are young and dumb and haven't figured out the system. That's what the great thing is about. So a lot of these things you see from channels or whatever, they're paying less. Like it's the African voice is something, whatever. And it's a trick. It's like, anybody that works in it long enough sees what the tricks are. That's why there's a union. So what's going to happen is you're going to never see like Chappelle's show. You'll see more black shows for brief amounts of time,
Mm-hmm.
And something good will come out that will hit, but nobody wants a Chappelle. You think they want a Chappelle? No, they don't. He ran to Africa, right? He's
kind of grandfathered in a little bit. Like they're not looking for. Yeah,
you're gonna make money with him. So that's which I didn't ever. I'm very happy he ran to Africa. It's great that he cheated them with his show on the contract. Good for him. Mm-hmm. I think it's great he did that. But they don't want a guy like that ever again. They want like a good. You're an insider now, and you act like it. So a lot of things are like little social tests to see whose side you're on. Like, you can watch it happen. And if you follow, I don't follow tweets, but sometimes you'll hear one where like the girl from Black Panther doesn't believe in vaccine or some like cuckoo thing. Cause she's like, I don't know what religion she is. And then the guy, Don Cheadle was like, bye Felicia. He tweeted at her. Low. Now you can see it trickle in. This is where,
it gets exhausting.
Yeah,
it's honestly, it's fucking exhausting. And it's funny that for the same thing that people bitch about, they reward you for, and vice versa. It all depends on whether it's on their terms or not. Like, I think it's funny that people, you're an Emmy award winning writer, but you got people on your ass about writing something that, they personally don't like, and all of a sudden they've got a problem.
For none of my work. All of the stuff that I wrote would be praised by the same outlets.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. See, I never like. There can be that for. See, what you see is a lot of people in trouble for like shitty jokes.
Yeah.
You know, that like aren't good. They're not defensible comedically so much, except in parts. Sometimes they are, but that's different. That's not at all. I was in some other complete different thing where, I was in the jurisdiction of people like that somehow. So
it wasn't like you weren't like. I mean, I love Gilbert Gottfried. I think he's absolutely essential. When he comes out, if there's like a natural disaster or something really fucked up that goes down, I go to his Twitter. I'm like, what is he going to say about this? You have to have people like that as well. Now there's Ari Shaffir you can go to. Yeah, that's true. This is true. Oh, dude,
does he do any tweets since the Affleck thing? No, he doesn't.
I don't know. Actually, since the Affleck thing, well, I remember. Oh God, there was one that he did. It was after a tsunami, and I was just like,
yeah, right. That's the one he got fired from Affleck for.
Is that the one he got fired from Affleck?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought that.
I don't even remember what it was,
dude. How? Oh my God, that was maybe almost 10 years ago, dude. Time. I feel like that was maybe 2 years ago, but I guess that was more like fucking 10 years.
2 years
ago.
It
was like 10 years ago. Jesus, bro.
It's a long time ago.
It's almost a decade ago.
So yeah, that's early, but that's like somebody getting in trouble for a joke. And so
yeah, that's a joke. Yeah.
I don't remember what his joke was, but or the one I told you that Sam said, like the thing of, I'm just like, if it sucks, then it sucked. Like people turn on you in the crowd. We have a system of accountability, which is literally people aren't enjoying it if what you're doing is not good.
Yeah.
So it's already dishonest. If somebody's laughing, if you get a crowd on your side and like maybe a joke's wrong and they're evil to laugh at it, but that's the devil's bond. You come in and that means that, in fact, a bunch of crowd laughs at it. It means he still did his job. Okay.
Yeah.
Now
he said it. Oh my God.
But now, so this is a thing of the joke thing side of it is a bunch of people saying it's like a thing on society, like it's the chance of it, you say something like whatever bad thing you say, like the damage to society caused by it is not. I don't believe in like the broken windows. I don't believe people that there's a, post comedy show. Did you ever see the Law and Order, where the guy was a rape joke comic?
This is real.
Yeah, I forget who played him.
No, I didn't.
And then his jokes led to an attempted rape, like outside the show. Hey, what do you not like the show?
Oh, come on.
And somebody tweeted at the time, they're like, I don't believe that many people would be there on a Thursday night at the comic strip.
Yeah. Go.
And that was like a hot thing for a minute. Right? And then it was like right around the time.
No, I see what you're distinguishing the difference between a joke and somebody just saying.
But then people have no idea. That's a. I mean, you've heard this before, and you heard it in Jehovah's Witnesses and the thing of like, rap and heavy metal, or how you could bring a demon in your house, or that's what this shit is. It's just that by people that you call them blue hairs when it was old ladies doing it, like when an old childless woman would write a angry letter to Doctor Who or something.
Yeah.
Now you get a young chick with blue hair doing it. That's why I'm so for all the transitioning, especially I don't care if they regret it. I'm super for it. Okay. I don't think trans women are women. I think they're better than women. And I want to make that clear. When I say I don't think that there's a woman, I'm like, no, because you're better than women. And I believe it in all my heart. And I like, because watching feminists have that little tyrant thing where you're like, oh, it turns out. And I totally
all this shit about
a lot of them did hate men. A lot of TERFs, not necessarily hate, but they were afraid of men, definitely, or they hate men. The definition of phobia, but they're that for men. They had man phobia.
But they're fighting for these men, these trans men.
No, the real ones
in their fucking competitions.
Listen, but it's not. Those aren't the real ones. Those are like the younger ones that aren't. These ones, the man hater ones, that's the TERFs. That's the ones like who are like lesbian, or not lesbian, but just you hate. A lot of people, something happened to them, so that they're like that. And so now you're like, somebody go, who was a man, you have to just accept it. Like they're not. But the funniest part is they're not getting attacked for what they're like. You're transphobic. No, they're not. They're male. Whatever it is about men that's phobic, that's what they are. And they can't even. They used to be able to say it. Like this chick was this nutbag that really tried to get something going against me. That was her. Her whole thing is like, I'm gonna get men, and now she is a man. Isn't that interesting? Like, dude, wow, is that why you were so is that why you like wanted to get men so bad? You were a man. I'm so glad for you. And I bet you're much happier. I'll bet you're a much happier person who doesn't do that. Oh no, you're not. You're even worse than before.
Yeah, but these people are like Tarzan, swinging from one ideology to the next. Just like, well, this makes sense now. This makes sense.
Well, that's pretty racist. I gotta go in like 5 minutes.
No, that's cool. Yeah, okay, I'll let you go. Thank you for your time, man. We'll have to do this again some other time. We're gonna get you out of here after Mental Reps questionnaire.
Pop quiz, hot shot.
Why so serious?
What's in the box?
What does Marcellus Wallace look like?
What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
Answer the question, Claire.
Are you telling me you built a time machine out of a DeLorean?
You want answers. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Is Darth Vader my father?
For real, B? I want answers.
Without a good question, a good answer has no place to go. It's time for the Mental Reps questionnaire.
All right, I can already tell you have something to say about this.
What? I did, but I forgot over the 2 hours of song. Can I have here?
Good
I have.
call. I need to shorten
I'm not
it.
pissed off, but here's the thing that I would say: like your segment music isn't long enough.
Okay, yeah, dude. Good call. My friend Kimba was like, "How about we shorten that up, big guy?" I'm like,
I got on my podcast.
Right.
I got some guy did a rap for it, which was like good, but it's too long. Even that, I'm like, just play the one fucking line of the verse.
All right,
let me tell you something. Shorter is better with all that.
Copy that. Yeah, this is one that I had like all of my favorite. Like I was looking for questions from movies and stuff like that, and I was picking them for my favorite movies. I put them all together, and rather than shorten it up, I just kind of kept it the way it was. So anyway,
it's like a 13-year-old girl's collage for art class with like a cute
I'm sitting here with my glue gun, fucking
pizza.
Yeah, I got
and you're like
really
a best friends forever.
All right,
you have a great memory. All right, go ahead.
This is meant to be a lightning round, okay? You don't take as long as you need, but don't overthink it. All right. All right. If you could meet anyone, current or historical, and spend the day picking their brain, who would it be?
I don't know.
Pontius Pilate?
No. Was he gonna tell? I don't. Does she have to speak Latin?
It's a JW joke, dude. Come on.
That's your JW figure? Is Pontius Pilate? It seems like something too. It's like his name's like Pilates or something. I swear to God, it's not pronounced. None of those names are pronounced right.
Pilates Pilate, dude. Pontius Pilates, dude.
I don't know, dude. I never have an answer for that. I don't know.
Jesus Christ!
Do you have a
man.
historical?
Don't you know how to answer questions?
I don't know how to answer these fucking clickbait.
Clickbait?
Are you stealing data from me?
I'm trying to get a better understanding.
You're taking data. That's what this is.
Yeah, dude, I'm harvesting metadata as we speak.
This is like metadata.
Yeah.
What pisses you off? This is a goddamn.
My VPN.
This is one of those consulting things.
All right. Do you you don't know anybody, current or historical? You want to spend a day? Anybody you fucking admire, dude? Anybody?
Yeah, but sure. Like, I want to meet all the people, but
give me one good one.
I don't have one because here's why. I can't think of one. Like, give me like possibilities, like a nice multiple choice. Because I've never thought, dude. Even when you're supposed to think like you might be like if you're about to do something. Imagine if like Jesus or like Moses were there. What if Moses were watching you? What would you do? Like, I couldn't even get my head around that. Like, what?
So
I'd like to see Patrice again. Honestly, I will.
Great really answer, dude. That's what I'm fucking talking about.
But that's not like that's not like the
lightning round, dude. Remember I said don't overthink it. Lightning round, bro.
Well, it's a very involved. I don't know how people answer these. All right, go ahead.
God, I'm scared to ask you the next question.
I'm really thinking about them without trying to overthink it.
If you had one round trip ticket in a time machine, when and where would you go? I should have.
Wait, but that's like I guess it's not meeting people, so I could meet a dinosaur instead. You
When
mean?
and where? When and where? You want to go see fucking dinosaur? You want to go see the burning of the Library of Alexandria?
No, I don't care about it. I wouldn't care about any mankind history. I would absolutely want to go to like the
future.
All no. When are we going there? The 3/4 of species that are like gone that you'll never know what the fuck they are.
Yeah,
and see what they are.
See,
that's
like
a
good answer, dude. See, we're getting
it's tripping me up with the time machine scenarios and the because I have to visualize. I like Tom Cruise. You have to understand. I'm modeling with clay right now, like Tom Cruise. Because that's how I can learn and answer questions.
Okay.
I use Scientology methods.
Yeah, dude. Sometimes you gotta get your thetans up. If you could create a Woodstock type music festival featuring 5 musical acts from any era or genre, who would
I don't
they
have
be?
any musical. I don't know.
You don't like music?
Yeah, but I don't like it. Like I give a huge shit to like if I meet the person, I'm like I got pretty much everything I needed from the song. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
why don't you just answer a fucking question, dude?
I don't get that. I don't even know how you Jehovah Witness. You must have been a cooler Jehovah Witness than me. Like when you talked about bands and shit. I didn't get into, dude. I didn't get into giving a shit about bands. All my friends were in high school were into like punk, and had like a band, and I would go to shows, which were fun to go to live. But I never listened to a punk album in my.
Oh, okay.
That's for like a show, like, and you're young and jumping around. Like that's the enjoyment of that, and like nobody has to be good at what they're doing. I mean, some
But
people.
dude, you got okay. Let's lower it from 5 to 3. You got a gun to your head, and somebody says, "What 3 musical acts you want to see? From any era?" You got fucking Led Zeppelin, Prince, who? Queen? I don't know.
I would say shoot me in the head because it's so corny for me to like I'm on what is that? What's that movie? Where the kid becomes a rock journalist.
Such a good movie.
The Marin's in it. You know what I'm talking about? I forget.
It's about Cameron Crowe, right? Or it's like a Cameron Crowe
that's
movie.
the one. It's by Cam. Yeah, maybe it is about his life.
I think it is because he used to follow Led Zeppelin around back in the day, but they made it Stillwater, I think. It's funny. Yeah. I can remember all that, but I can't remember the name of the movie.
Yeah, but remember they're like, what music do you like? I don't have any, but I've met a few people because Jay's like, Big Jay, my friends were very.
All right, let's switch it to comedians then. Three comedians all time. If you could make a show all time, 3 to 5 comedians.
What am I doing? I'm making a show of them.
If you could create like a Woodstock type comedy festival featuring 5 comedy
I see
acts,
what you're saying.
Like who do you want from
I don't.
any era?
Okay. I hate that question. I'll tell you who like some people that I think are like great that are like I don't hear a lot but great. Mike Epps's Underrated Never Faded, where he's got a silver suit on.
Okay.
One of the best hours. Now here's the thing. There's
Patrice
10 minutes.
Elephant in the Room. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that, I love that. But I hear people bring it up to me a lot. I mean, this is also, I'm sure black people like Mike Epps, and I just don't. I'm not hearing it from like, but it's such a good out. It's so good. It's in Detroit, and there's like 10 minutes of him like doing like. There's a 10-minute thing that I'm sure is deliberately there to chase off white people watching, but just get past it. It's one of the greatest hours that I don't hear it brought up enough, and it's just a purely funny fucking special.
Okay.
And he's like, it's great. I think it's one of the best hours I've seen.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think of what other hour I saw, like, because I haven't been watching like hours or anything.
You don't watch a lot of other comedians. It fills your brain too much with their style, or like you don't want to get rubbed off on too much, or what's your viewpoint?
No,
on
not
watching
like
other
that.
Comedians?
Like I always like to watch Attell, whatever, but I don't see him as much now because I'm in LA. But I always like watch, or anything like Chappelle or like, but I don't think a lot of comics. I don't know. There's a certain thing where you're not like a lot of times I'll see people and I hadn't seen them and I'll like watch their. Do you know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's not. I don't have a Like there's people I'm curious. Like if I haven't seen them ever, when I'm like curious to see them, I guess. But my thing coming to comedy, I don't have like, like a lot of stuff was ahead of me growing up. Like even something like when I remember when Wu-Tang Clan came out and like my friends had it. I was like, I don't like
36
this.
Chambers of Death.
I didn't like it one bit. I'm like, it sounds violent. They're swearing a lot. Okay, I'm Jehovah's Witness. Like it wasn't even that I'm like against swearing. I probably cursed at school all the time, but I couldn't relate to a single fucking thing they were talking. I'm like, I don't understand any of this. Like I kind of like the karate noise. So it was just the thing that was it was a thing, but it was a thing that was ahead of me because I'm in a thing. So, and I'm not one of them Jehovah's Witnesses that was the thing at the assembly. There'd be like the one ring you go to if you're like a certain age and you're into bands and you have a secret tattoo. I didn't hang out with them kids.
Yeah, I was in that ring.
So like all the things you're talking about are different flag salutes to me. And one time I tell me a joke, it was really funny because it was something, what's his name? Who's a great comic? Bill, he died, you know.
Oh, Hicks.
But he was talking about people do these interviews and they're like, what about Richard Pryor? And you're like, okay, can we just like do, like, have we saluted the flag enough?
Copy that.
Like, so Patrice I'd like to see because it was like, I really, you know, talking to him would be like a cool thing to be able to do still. Like, it's really like a massive loss to not be able to hear anything he's going to say, or because it was always like interesting.
He had answers.
So,
somebody said that recently. He always had answers.
Well, I wouldn't even give it that much credit. But he thought through everything he said because sometimes he's wrong.
Yeah,
but that's the thing. I just really liked how he thought about things, and it was very like very honest, like to a ridiculous degree. That like, so that's gone. That like, I don't know what would happen to him if he was alive now. Like, well, who knows what the hell? But it would be hilarious because I've seen him. Worked on a show and I've seen him under the pressure. Everybody hates you. Like I've seen him under the most extreme pressure, like deliver. It's amazing. Like, and that's the thing that's interesting. Like I wonder what that guy would be doing or talking about right now. It would be like probably massive. He'd probably be massive because of he had such a funny, like honest thing. And you know,
I would like to think people will be able to see the good in him and dismiss. I would like to think maybe he'd be one of the few guys to be able to get in there and be a voice.
Like, the thing that you would be dismissing about him is that he was honest. Like the people that didn't like him were all doing phony horse shit. And he was like,
dude, really listening to him on Opie and Anthony, just even like that shit. Like if you go back and listen to that, him talking about relationships.
Listen, he said all kinds of shit to me that was totally ridiculous, by the way. I'm not like making it like it's just like he was he told me, you know, he was going through like a vegan period for a minute, and because he really liked animals. Like he was really like he was saying something about like we're not meant to eat like, you know, all whatever, like you're not meant to eat raw vegetables. That's why you cook things, because that's why you get diarrhea from but he would like say these kind of, because he would get an idea and his mind would get really into it, and then he would get disillusioned with it, like being a Jehovah's Witness or anything. Like you get it, this thing, and you like quick, and until so he followed till it disappoints him, and then he moves on. So, because he's like an honest guy, so he could do that. That's what's interesting about him, is like that guy could do something till some people stick around after they're disappointed forever. Like and because they have to. Maybe they got a family. I don't know. I don't have anything, so I don't know what I would be.
No, I know what you mean though.
I live by myself, dude. I don't like to be like pissed off. Is I gotta like stub my toe or something. Like I don't, you know. I see my girlfriend a perfect amount. Like I don't have any
that's good though.
Kind of normal pressure you would have.
That's good, man. That's good. I mean, you know,
it's fine. I like making stuff, so as long as I'm doing that, I'm happy. Like
you keep your creative muscle flexing a little bit, and you keep busy with that.
That's the thing. Like I would want out of life is that I'll tell you the thing that I want the most out of life, which is why I got into stand up, was when my Jehovah's Witness friends when I was a kid. I remember my two friends. We would hang out. My one friend had a pool, and so we'd hang out at his house a lot. And we hang out with him and his stepdad was like a heating and air conditioning guy, and like just crack jokes at each other and like make fun of people, totally make fun of people at the Kingdom Hall. Like, and like really like,
and that's when it's the best to laugh, dude, when you're not supposed to, and your mom is giving you
the
that
kind of
fucking eye.
Yeah, right. Woo. And so that's the kind of thing that's like the kind of thing that I'm into. Because I like,
read
so that's
you.
why I'm saying like that Mike Epps thing made me laugh like that. Like it was just like so funny and like he did it like, I don't know. I'm saying watch that if you haven't seen it. I say watch the whole thing.
All right, dude. Yeah,
Yes.
I don't. Yeah, I was gonna say. I think it's been more than 5 minutes, so I'll just let you go. But dude, I got one thing to ask you to. Actually, you know, we'll skip that, dude. I think that we got as much as we can.
We're about to hit play on a long segment theme.
Just give me one.
Hold on.
1 minute.
I've never seen somebody keep holding up. Hold on, the segment theme's almost done. Hold on,
It's coming up. Yeah, dude. This is definitely, you know, I've used it a couple of times, and I think this was the straw that broke the camel's back. I'm gonna have to shorten it up a little bit.
You just shortened it. Is that a kind of special thing?
Yeah,
all right, brother. Can't get right. It's my podcast, my shitty podcast, and Kyle Dunnigan. Kyle Dunnigan's just his name is the YouTube channel. But we do a lot of stuff on there.
KurtMetzgerComedy.com and at Kurt Metzger, all that good stuff on the social media and everything. Thanks for coming on, bro. I appreciate you, dude.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks, Brian. Hi, this is Kurt Metzger, and you're listening to Mental Reps with Brian.